Hello, and welcome to Without Fathom. I'm MacGuffen, and today I'm going to dive into the lore of a minor, but fan-favorite Critical Role NPC, Bolo of Eor, and explore what I think is her most likely fate. First of all, spoiler warning for all the main campaigns of Critical Role, EXU Calamity, and a small bit of the novel, The Nine Eyes Evolution. So, who is Bolo? In the first episode of EXU Calamity, the PCs all gather at a party. Sam's character, Loquacious Sealy, unexpectedly brings a +1, and even more unexpectedly, Sam names her Bolo.
You come with a +1?
Let's say yes. Let's say yes.
Who did you bring?
I brought, it takes me a second to remember her name.
Love it. Okay.
But her name is Bolo, I think.
Bolo?
She's a friend of a friend. We were sort of set up. This is the second time I've ever met her. She's gorgeous, isn't she?
Brennan, not to be outdone, decides to give her personality his own twist.
All right, fantastic.
Nice to meet you, I'm Bolo.
No!
We don't get to see much of Bolo in Calamity. Mostly, we learn that she is from Eor, claims that she wants to be a reporter like Loquacious, and doesn't get along with the Hodmedod construct serving at the party.
This bag is giving me a hard time. This bag keep arguing with me. Can you destroy?
In the Campaign 2 prequel novel, The Nine Eyes Evolution, there's a short reference to the Maximus family. It includes several family members' names, including Bolo, which has been confirmed by the author to be the same Bolo as one from Calamity. Where things really get interesting is in the Calamity wrap-up, and one other interview where Brennan delves into some possibilities of what happened to Bolo after the last time we see her. While many NPCs have had their time in the "are they secretly a dragon" limelight, it is another of his possibilities that stands out to me, that she is an Eorian spy searching for arcane tech.
Or Bolo is an incredibly dangerous Eorian spy who goes into Avalier during the chaos and finds a necessary piece of arcanotech for Eor's later work with all of the shady things that we know that they were working on.
Absolutely.
Right?
Threshold Crest.
The Threshold Crest, Godhammer, anything, right?
Was Bolo truly who she said she was? And what could she have stolen? Avalier had no shortage of powerful artifacts, but what would be coveted above all else in the Age of Arcanum? What has become of Bolo? Well, let's do some theorizing. Let's say that Bolo did, in fact, steal an artifact from Avalier. Something incredibly powerful and rare. What could be more powerful or valuable than something tied to the Matron of Raven's ascension? For instance, something that would allow a mortal to absorb the very essence of a deity and take up their place in the Pantheon. Thanks to Ludinus Deleth, we know that it is possible to create such artifacts. It is possible the Matron of Ravens created and used something similar to ascend. If Bolo managed to acquire that artifact, but lacked the ability to summon and subdue the deity, what could she do? Summon, subdue, and absorb the essence of something less, but still very powerful. What could she have absorbed using the artifact? Well, what are the next most powerful entities after the gods? Who else has clerics in Alexandria? Archfey. I theorize that Bolo summoned an Archfey, bound to them, and used the artifact to gain their power, becoming an Archfey herself. The one we know as Bolo then took on a new name, or, if Bolo was simply an assumed identity, used her true name to become Vesh, the Bloody Siren. Who is Vesh? Vesh is a self-proclaimed deity, though in truth, she's only one of Exandria's lesser idols, mostly known in Isilra, the continent west of Taldore. Information we have about Vesh is largely from the Campaign 1 guest character Kasha, the post-Campaign 1 wrap-up, and the campaign setting books. She tempts followers from those who seek forbidden knowledge, and they gather more acolytes to perform rituals of pleasure and pain for their goddess. Sometimes these rituals culminate in a visit from Vesh, where she feeds on all but one in a bloody massacre. The lone survivor becomes her chosen mate. But I don't think that an Archfey was all that she was. Critical Role campaign sourcebooks describe Vesh as a being with conflicting duality, Vesh has moods that demand sacrifice and pain, and others that ask for benevolence and mercy. How long would it have taken her to learn how and prepare to use the artifact? She could have resorted to lichdom if she could not use the artifact before her mortal lifespan would have ended. Alternatively, she could have used the artifact on a powerful undead as well. Either way, she would now have two conflicting energies inside her, one of wild, untamed life, and one of oppressive, cold undeath. This both explains how Vesh's clerics can have the life or death domains, and her warlocks can have her as the Archfey or the Undying patrons. This also explains her aforementioned ritual, souls to feed her lich side, but that is not all. In Campaign 1, Kashaw describes the ritual where Vesh grants him power, saying that his blood mingled with her sweat, granting him her memories. This may have been an attempt to siphon off the Fey aspect she had absorbed, to lessen the conflict inside her. Kashaw is terrified of her, believing her to be a goddess who can unleash untold destruction, but it is possible that she fears him just as much for their connection. This also brings up the question of how much Fey energy did she impart to Kashaw? It turned one of his eyes blue, but how will he be affected in the long term? But, lest you think that this series is only based on speculation, I do have one more small connection between Bolo and Vesh. Vesh's symbol, a crimson ring on a chain. I think this could clearly be a mockery of Avalir's rings of gold and silver, the ruling classes of the floating island. The people who she stole, the very artifact that allowed her to ascend. Well, that's about all I have for this theory, which is undoubtedly correct 100%. What do you think? Did I miss any connections? Leave a comment. Give the video a like as well. Lastly, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon to make sure you don't miss any of our future videos. Until next time, have a great day.
Wow, MacGuffen, this is going to be a super great April Fool's Day video.
It's April Fool's Day?